Hello everyone, this is Otaku Trades and welcome back to another exciting episode of Otaku's 2 Cents. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that Yakuza is probably one of the best franchises Sega has ever made, next to the one about the blue hedgehog. So, Yakuza was originally released on the PS2 back in 2006, where it got its international release outside of Japan. Now, the series itself has always been, or just at least at the time, was niche, but was still popular enough to get all of its games, except for a few spin-offs, released outside of Japan. But they kind of stopped really showing up after 5. But the franchise would then later get the big boost it needed with the release of Zero, because now Yakuza is like super huge. My experience with the series was actually started with Project X Zone 2, where Kiryu and Majima were playable characters in it, and that led me to get the PS3 games. And yeah, it didn't really grab my attention. Like most people, my jump on point was Yakuza 0, just because it had some of the best writing in the entire franchise. But and pretty much because of that one game, the series has managed to skyrocket to the status it has now. But like every long-running franchise, there will be some games that kind of stick out as being weird or not really good. And we were talking about pretty much what most people consider the black sheep of the series today. And with a new Yakuza game that also tries to be very different, being the friggin' pirate game with Majima that comes out in February, I thought it would be a good time to look at this one. So everyone, I want you all to sit back, relax, grab your infinite ammo pistols, enough medicine to kill a friggin' elephant, and enough bullets to friggin' fight off a small city, as we are going to now talk about Yakuza Dead Souls. So the game starts off, like most other Yakuza games in the series, with your average ordinary night in the fictional city of Kamurocho, Tokyo, until a Yakuza office is attacked by a zombie. Holy shit, I think they're dead! So the next day, not only is a portion of the city now infested with zombies, but that portion has been completely sealed off from the rest by these gigantic metal walls. And now it is up to you to figure out what caused this outbreak and how to stop it. Okay, so I know that sounds very simplistic for a Yakuza game, and it is, without trying to be too spoilerly, but anyways. So similar to Yakuza 4, we don't just play as Kiryu in this game. Instead, we get to play as 4 different characters. So the 4 characters, as you can see here on screen, we have Kiryu, our main guy. Then there is Shun Akiyama, who is a main character from Yakuza 4, who is a loan shark. Then we get to actually play as Goro Majima. So yes, this is the first game where you actually get to play as Goro Majima, everyone's favorite one-eyed psycho. And then finally, as a surprise one, we get to play as Ryuji Goda, pretty much the antagonist from Yakuza 2. So I don't know why he's still alive, because he was supposed to have died at the end of Yakuza 2, and I don't know why he's got a robotic arm. But pretty much who gives a shit? This isn't even canon. Okay, so if any of you are looking forward to like fighting zombies with your fists and stuff in this, yeah, I hate to tell you, but that's sadly not how this game works. Instead, you get a variety of different weapons ranging from pistols to shotguns, then like assault rifles, sniper rifles, and then even grenade launchers and machine guns, or excuse me, miniguns, to be your weapon. So you don't really get any actual offensive attacks like melee wise. You do get a kick, but that's just pretty much to get enemies off you. In fact, any physical abilities you unlock are mainly here to get enemies off you instead. So the way the game works is that R1 is basically your main attack. When you are facing an enemy, the game will essentially auto-lock you onto the enemy, and you will fire at them. Now, if it hits their head or not is completely up to RNG, essentially, but you can hold down L2 to lock on, to aim down the sights in order to get a better shot, because any blast to the head does instant kill most just the basic mobs. Now, if you are hoping for this game to have heat actions, well, guess what? You are right. This game does have heat actions, but they're not the same. Heat actions in this game are done very differently, like that. So pretty much the way they work is once your heat gauge is full, if you see any like green or blue exclamation marks in the world, you can press triangle to perform a heat action, where you basically just do like a tracing bullet shot that just hits the target, and then will cause it to either have their attack interrupted or will cause something nearby to explode. Usually allies can join in on these, or they can even be the ones that provide the explosion. You can pick up physical like melee objects to help you fight, but that's literally all you can do melee wise. And worst part is that, again, as you can see, they are limited they're limited in their use, and they're also not even really that good, because why use a melee weapon when every single character gets a pistol that has unlimited ammo? So yeah, again, if you were hoping to have some of the fun little things like with Yakuza in the past, like some kind of mixture of the physical combat and gunplay, yeah, sadly that is not in this game. However, there are still some things here from the old one, like there's still the experience gauge, where pretty much every time you kill zombies, you gain XP, and once you gain enough, you are able to you'll earn orbs, which you can then use to purchase new skills and abilities that help make your survival a bit easier, or can make a lot of or can even just be nice little quality of life things. You also do have equipment in this, similar to the old games, where pretty much you can equip armor, and this time multiple accessories, all of which are here to help you increase your own damage, or just your defense, sometimes even damage with certain weapons. But aside from combat, if you are curious about it, all the other fun Yakuza stuff is still in these games. Like, there's still karaoke, there's still gambling, and then there's still little funny sub-stories exploring like the world and everything. So all of that is still here. But if you were mainly a fan of the Yakuza style beat 'em up combat, yeah, it is sadly not in this. I'll still say this isn't a bad replacement, but I definitely feel like they could have found a way to mix both together in some cool little like martial arts gunplay kind of deal. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the first good point of this game, And so, first things first, the music in this game is freaking phenomenal. Like, I'm not kidding when I say that this is probably some of the best music I have heard in the entire series. Like, just the opening alone is, in my opinion, better than Zero. I know that that's a hot take, but just listen to this. And that was just the opening. There's a bunch of other tracks that pretty much I can't really dig through all of them to find it, but just trust me, the fighting music and even the final boss music, a lot of the music in this game is just really top notch for like no reason whatsoever. Okay, so I mentioned it before, like earlier, that like pretty much how this game handles leveling up. So again, just a little quick thing. So yeah, once you've killed enough zombies and you got enough XP, you are given soul orbs ranging from 1 to 3. The amount of soul orbs you get depends on your level, and you then use those to buy new upgrades. Now, if you're familiar with Yakuza 4 or pretty much just any Yakuza game from between or just primarily like 4, 5, and 0, where you play as multiple different characters. One of the problems with those games, at least in my opinion, when it comes to leveling up, is the fact that once you move on to a new character, their level completely is like they restart at 0. Or excuse me, level 1. And because of that, it really makes it annoying having to grind a character all the way back up. However, this game is different. Instead, every single character shares the same level and same learned abilities. So anything I teach Akiyama will be shared with like Majima, Goda, and Kiryu. So it does allow for you to not feel underpowered while the game still throws out stronger enemies later on. So I actually really do thoroughly enjoy that, because let me tell you, with a lot of these abilities, which we'll get into, because especially these basic ones, there is a problem I have with these, and some of you can probably see it now, but we'll go into it when we get to them bad, because yeah, this is one of the worst parts of the game, in my opinion, especially with some of these skills. So another great thing about this game is the fact that, unlike, again, games like 4, 5, and even 0, one of the things that you'll find annoying at first is the fact that every character has their own unique inventory. So, or item box. So pretty much anything you get as, like, say, Kiryu in Yakuza 4 is not transferred over to any other character until, like, the final part of the game, which can kind of suck, especially in this game. But one of the nice things about this one is that all items are shared. So pretty much every character can access the same item box and have access to the same weapons and items. In fact, every time you switch to a new character, all items, equipment, weapons, and all that they have on them that are not specifically their exclusive weapon are transferred into the item box for the other character to use. So it definitely makes it way cheaper on you to allow, so that you essentially get to keep all the armor, all the weapons, and everything that you collect on your journey. Not to mention, another real good thing speaking of like armor and weapons, is that we can actually modify our equipment. That we can take items that we find off of zombies in the quarantine zone, and we can then use them to upgrade our weapons. And again, since weapons are shared between all 4 characters, any weapon upgrade that you do here can be utilized by anyone. So you don't gotta go around buying like freaking 5 different like 4 different shotguns for like everyone, so that everyone's got one, because it's all shared amongst the entire party. Okay, so while I did mention before that the gameplay for this game was not that bad, there are some problems with it. Specifically, going back to one of the main skills that I taught about earlier. So, just to show this off, this is one of the first skills you can learn, called head tracking. The whole point behind it is that you automatically aim at the first enemy or just you aim at the head of the enemy in front of you. So this works pretty well in our favor in case of hordes, because it does, as you can see, it goes directly after their head. However, one problem I have noticed with this skill is that it has this tendency to not track when you want it to track. Now pretty much right now, it's not, I'm having difficulty getting it to work, but pretty much it is something that has happened to me on a few occasions, where pretty much if 2 zombies are right next to each other, it will not target them, or just it won't be able to target which one you want to aim at, so it can lead to the skill not working. Which, while it doesn't happen a lot, it is still an issue, especially. But that's just one of the factors of the gameplay. Another big annoying part of this one is, and I can show it right here, is the fact that you can only aim at what's directly in front of the character. So like, let's look at this. There's a bunch of zombies right behind me. I want to aim at this one that's right behind me. Yeah, will not happen. If you aim down the sights, you will only aim in the direction that Kiryu is, or whatever character you're playing as, is facing. Essentially making the situation really bad, because, well, hey, the threat's in front. My camera is facing the threat. I can't shoot the threat. Now, as things are right now, I'm not doing too bad here, but here's the deal. This is because I'm chill. If you are in a very stressful situation where you are fighting, say, like, zombies that are way, way stronger than you're expecting, like any of the mutant variants, this can become insanely stressful. And now you are stuck having to deal with just a horde of zombies in front of you, along with a bunch of enemies that can whoop your ass 7 different ways to Sunday, and you can't get the headshot off because everything's just falling apart. Okay, so the last issue I talked about was probably one of the more minor ones, since it can be chalked up to both either a skill issue or just if you're in a stressful situation, it's going to be it's really going to work against you at the worst time. But this next issue is 100% one of the biggest pains in the butt that this game has to offer, and I cannot stress enough how much I hate this. And it has to do with the inventory system. So this is your inventory. However, at the start of the game, your inventory is actually way smaller, because your inventory at the very beginning of the game only allows you to have to have 12 items, as you can see here. In order to get more items, you have to level up. And as you can see here from the looks of the orbs, it takes one point for 14, and then it goes up until it's 7. Till the end, you have doubled your inventory space. Now, pretty much, this would be fine if it wasn't for one small fact, and that's the whole deal that items don't stack. So, or just only specific items stack. So, material that you get from killing zombies, that stacks to a point. Like, I believe with certain materials, you can have, like, I want to say 5 of each in a stack before it's too much. At which point, it starts a new stack. Not to mention, then there's ammo, which also stacks. So yeah, you never have to worry about never having enough ammo because you can carry, as you can see, you can carry a bunch of ammo, but when you have to but since medicine doesn't stack, and pretty much as you can see here with some ammo, it can only carry so much of each before it creates a new stack. If you go into a quarantine area and you stay there too long, you're going to wind up carrying a bunch of items, which let me tell you, it gets even worse as time goes on, because because again, you're going to be fighting a lot, and because of that, you'll be grabbing tons of items and tons of other stuff, and so at some point you'll find out really quick that when it comes to 24 item slots,
it still isn't enough.
And let me tell you, it only gets worse from there, because while I don't have any on here right now, you see the armor and accessories? Yeah, these also take up a slot in your inventory, as you can see. So just to recap what that means, this means you need to have enough you have to have enough slots to carry medicine, which each instance of a thing of medicine takes up 1 slot. So you can only have 1 Toughium Z in 1 slot, one Infinity Z in 1 slot, all that, or just like one Toughness Emperor and all that in 1 slot. So if you're trying to stock up on medicine, stock up on ammo, and again, also having to stock up on mob materials, because again, one of the other annoying things is that there's no way to make money in this game aside from selling the materials you find that you get from zombies. There's not a ton of sub-stories in this game, so there's not a ton of moments where you can make real cash. Because of this, if you enter a quarantine zone and you don't come out with either an anime figurine, which can be sold for a lot of money, or a very rare zombie part, you're not going to be making any cash. And then again, on top of that, you have to factor in that you have to carry medicine, ammo, and these items all at once. And pretty much again, as I said, 24 slots is not enough for all this. If medicine could stack, if everything could stack, because yeah, that's another thing. I don't believe the anime figures stack. Which let me tell you, it's very difficult to fully gauge that, because finding an anime figure in this game is also ridiculously hard, because they are super rare. But yeah, without a doubt, just the main bottom line, you give us an entire separate slot solely for both weapons and valuables. Give us one, if you had given us one for equipment, and then like monster, and then like zombie parts and monster stuff, to have all that be separated, then these 24 slots being just for medicine and ammo would have been fine. But no, instead we are stuck with only 24 slots for literally everything except for weapons and key items. Which, yeah, that sucks. Okay, so quick little addendum that I just forgot to mention for the item part. So when it comes to items and running out, thankfully the game does actually let you get items in these supply crates that are located all throughout the map. When you find them, you can pretty much find medicine to help heal you, and you can also find ammo for whatever weapons you have equipped specifically. So you'll never run out because they're everywhere. However, there is one minor issue that does still make this stressful, and that is the fact that aside from all of that, the best places to heal ill automatically from like trouble and stuff are inside of actual shops, because you can liberate shops that are still trapped in the quarantine zone. Doing so will let pretty much give you a moment to rest, and can even be a spot for you to like heal, like if it's a restaurant, or just use your own items to heal you up. Just a nice little thing to help take the edge off. But there is another thing that this does. When you enter one of these stores and you leave, just all supply crates restock. So you can actually go back and get all the stuff you missed along the way. So you can effectively stay in the quarantine zone indefinitely, since medicine and ammo just respawn in the crates when you go inside of a building. But there's also another problem. One big issue that does happen, and that is the fact that every single zombie that you just spent God knows how long killing are now back. So yeah, let's say you literally cleared out an entire area of zombies and barely made it. And the nearest supply crate's like a ways away, or there is just a lot of zombies between you and the exit. And you were thinking that, oh, hey, I can just quickly speed my way back through and be done. Yeah, that's not happening here. You're literally going to have to fight back through the entire horde of zombies that you just got finished killing in order to get out, and that is all because you went inside of like a freaking smile burger just to heal yourself back up. Okay, so in this game we have two antagonists. The first one here is the main one, a man named Nakaido. He used to work, who pretty much used to run with Ryuji's gang from that that were like the main antagonist of the second game. However, he is now pissed and wants payback against the Tojo for pretty much destroying their group. And so he tries to get Ryuji to help him, but Ryuji just doesn't want to play ball with that anymore, and he gets upset and pretty much decides that, well, okay, so if I can't take down the Tojo, I can't take down the Tojo by myself, I'm just one dude. So he takes the next logical step, which is, I'll just get an unstoppable, uncontrollable zombie army to help me do it. And so he literally, all he wants to do is take down the Tojo, but literally destroys all of Kamurocho just to do it, and has no real plan for what to do after. Like, he just says, oh, I'm going to destroy the Tojo, but doesn't say like what he's going to do after the Tojo's gone. So he's literally just going to be left in Japan with in a massive zombie mutant hodgepodge outbreak with no way of really controlling them. So yeah, and that's only one of our antagonists. They say it a bit more towards the end, but again, you'll just forget it because he's such a nothing character until the very end of the game. His whole deal is that this is the guy who gave Nakaido the virus. So this whole zombie outbreak thing was his whole deal. But pretty much aside from just wanting a place to test this and just thinking that, oh yeah, death is just peace. Everyone Like, everyone would be happier if they were in just a state of being dead. Pretty much that's all he's got, and that's literally all he's ever really shown interest in. The problem is that he's just forgettable, he's boring, and it's just again, with these two, dude, they are like the worst villains in the Yakuza series because they're just not interesting. So anyways, that was my 2 cents on Yakuza Dead Souls. And like I said, I do enjoy this game. Even with all its flaws, it's definitely one of those games that falls under guilty pleasure for me, kind of similar with Shadow the Hedgehog. They're not good. They're, when we compare it to the other games, or just some of their games from before or after, but it's definitely not terrible. There are some good points in it, but there's also some glaring bad ones. And again, compared to the others, it's nothing to really brag about. But definitely, I would recommend trying this if you just want to have some mindless fun. If not the entire game, at least through chapter 2, which is Majima's chapter, because Majima's chapter has some of the funniest stuff on the planet in it. But with that said, that will be it for this episode. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day and or night, and I will see all of you either in stream or in the next video. See you later.